Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Dave Jorgensen, and I'm recording this video to share with you all a little bit about some of the experiences I've had with depression and overcoming that, and a little bit about a technique that I have used that I found very, very effective that was taught to me by a counselor that I went to for a bit. So let me just share with you a little disclaimer here. I don't have the all the answers to depression. There's a lot of people out there who are on medications. There's a lot of people who aren't. I am not saying one way or the other about anything related to whether or not you should or should not take medication or anything like that for depression. That is between you and your doctor. I chose not to, but I am not advocating one way or the other on this video. But what I am sharing today is a little bit about my experience with depression. Let me just so it just seems like most of the depression issues that I've heard other people talk about are so much worse than mine that I had a little bit of a hard time getting going making this video, because I was sitting there thinking like, well, my issues don't hold a candle to some of these other people. But at the same time, the issues that I had were so severe at times, including thoughts of suicide, that it was just super bad. And that makes me think now, like, man, I would love for other people to not have to go through some of the same crap that I went through. So anyway, let me share with you the technique that my kinesiologist counselor taught to me, and it's basically this guy right here, if you can see it there. So this is the color sequence. It's very, very simple. And basically what it comes down to is going through each of those colors one by one, imagining them as vividly as you possibly can inside your mind. And what that does is it releases chemicals that make you happy, that help you be more creative, more grounded, more relaxed, all the good stuff that helps you to get out of depression. Now, one quick thing before I forget, this particular sequence you are more than welcome to try on your own. It's helped me many times, but this is what my kinesiologist counselor tested for me particularly, what my mind and what my body needed at that particular time. And so I'm not saying that it's absolutely going to work for you. You might need a different sequence, or you might need orange or purple in there, or some other particular colors that your mind has been lacking. But let me share a little bit about what happened as I did this. The initial recommendation that she gave me, my kinesiologist counselor, was to do this sequence 3 times over the next 3 days. And as I did that, it was kind of slow, but it was like the clouds in my mind just started to part. It wasn't super quick, but as I did, it was like rays of sunshine coming into my mind and into my body. And all of a sudden, like, I felt like talking to people. But before I had been doing that, it was like I didn't want to go talk to people. I was sick of doing schoolwork. I just didn't care. I just felt so numb every day, and it was absolutely nuts. Like, I when I was going through all my depression stuff, thank goodness I've overcome 99.9% of it. But it was always when life was really good. Like, I had good grades in school, lots of really good things going for me. I had friends, good family, money coming in. There's really no reason, and so for this to finally be happening was so awesome. It was so incredible. And so the thought that there are other people who don't have some of these solutions to the depression issues that they've been having, for me is just like, oh my gosh, like, you don't need to be suffering like this. And so the thing is, with me overcoming the depression issues that I had, this was one piece of many different pieces. It wasn't a one-stop shop to solve absolutely all of the problems that I have, which for me, like, I hated that. I was like, man, just give me one thing that I can do, one thing, let me just take care of that, let me just do that, and we'll call this good. Well, it doesn't really work that way, and if you can understand that little piece right now in your life about anything you're going through, that it's all about the little packets of light and information we get along the way, your life will be so much better. Because you'll understand that when you find new stuff, it's going to answer a couple questions, but it's not going to answer everything. Cool. So there's the color sequence. Again, it's super awesome. It's helped me a ton. Let me just real quick run through some of the experiences that I had being depressed. It started a little bit on my mission, and a lot of that was it was super cloudy outside. There was a lot of stuff just circulating inside my head that needed to get out, that I didn't understand at the time. And then later on, it was more often related to school. And also in the winter time. And I remember there was one time that I was on the freeway, and I had this thought come into my mind, like, and the thought was basically like, Dave, if you just crank the wheel to the left really hard, you would hit the wall, and then you could just roll, and then you'd probably die. That was how bad it was getting, and that was a really scary thought, because I was going. So I usually go pretty quick on the freeway, and that was scary, because like I'm like contemplating that thought while I was in the car, and oh my goodness, not fun. And so anyway, my hope is that doing this video is going to help somebody out, that somebody hopefully does not have to go through some of the same things that I went through, because the depression stories that I heard were, I just felt like, man, like if I had been experiencing that, I don't know how I would have dealt with it. I barely got past the stuff that I already went through. And so anyway, let me finish off here by telling y'all a little bit about each of the colors. And I don't know everything about what these colors do. I don't really know everything about the chemicals they release, but I have learned some pretty cool stuff. So the first one is the color blue. Blue helps you to just like feel really grounded and really solid. It helps you to be creative. Helps you to totally relax your mind. It's just so awesome. And I remember there were many times when I would sit and imagine the color blue, and I would just feel my body just all of a sudden just go whoom, like I would all of a sudden be taking these deep breaths, like my body had just been suffocating for air. It was really interesting. So anyway, the color blue, it releases calming chemicals. I don't know what those chemicals are, but they totally calm me down. Green is the next one. Green helps you to feel really relaxed, and a lot of you already probably know that when you've been going on hikes or going to a tropical island paradise where there's just gorgeous green colors everywhere. But green is associated with serenity, with prosperity. That's why the color of money is green, so hopefully you got a lot of that coming towards you. But it's really cool. The one that's that I really love next to blue is the color red. As you can see, I'm wearing red today, and I've been on a kind of a red kick for like the last several, I'd say, months. And red is really interesting because it's probably the most invigorating of the colors. It helps you to have more courage. It helps you to focus. It helps you to drive away any fear. There've been instances, even in the last like several weeks, where I've had a little bit of anxiety being around other people sometimes, and I'll start to imagine the color red in my mind. And it's really, really cool because as I've done that, I just feel some of that fear just go out the window like super, super quick. And it's been really, really amazing to see that happen. So anyway, there's the color red. One more thing, it stimulates the adrenal glands and also the neurons inside your brain. And so there's a little bit of the chemical aspect. Yellow releases serotonin. That's really cool because serotonin is something that makes you happy, and we all want to be happy. And that's one of the huge things with depression is of course you aren't happy. You feel like you got this huge sagging, wet, stinky, yucky black and gray cloud all over you all day. And so but yeah, so it releases serotonin, helps you concentrate, helps you with self-esteem, optimism, and creativity. And it also stimulates the adrenal glands, similar to the color red. So really, really cool stuff. The color white is the last one I'll mention. White has a very calming effect on the brain and on the body. It also has like a little bit of a cleansing effect. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but it's really, really cool. So yeah, and then it's associated with light, purity, cleanliness, and peace. So just incredible things. And so it's like an anti-depression cocktail, as it were, for getting these colors inside your mind. And one of the things that I did after a while, because sometimes it was hard to vividly imagine these colors, I would go online, search for pictures that had vivid representations of these colors in them, and then I would just put them in a PowerPoint. And then if I ever needed to get my mind in the right place in a particular day and kind of get out of that sagging depression state, then I would just go through the PowerPoint and imagine those in my mind as vividly as possible. And after a couple days, well, really within like 5 to 6 hours, usually I'd start to feel a little bit better, and then the next day I was feeling a lot better. So but yeah, so that's a little bit about my experiences. Again, I'm not advocating this as a solution for all your depression problems, you or anybody else, but this is something that was very, very real for me, because there is a very good chance that I would not be here today talking to you, making this little video in my car. There's a very good chance that I would not be here, and that I would be dead, and there'd be some funeral that had happened years and years ago for me. This was that powerful for me. The really, really cool thing about this is that this has applications in other areas too. Like when I was mentioning the color red, if you're about to give a speech somewhere, or if you got a class presentation somewhere, imagining the color red can actually help you give a better presentation. It can help drive that anxiety out the window. The same with the color blue. Blue can help you feel more grounded and creative, and help you just kind of align the energy that you already have and give a better presentation that way. Yellow, self-esteem, all those things with class and work and presentations. Like the idea of color has so many applications in our personal lives. It's ridiculous. It's so cool. And so I encourage anybody listening or watching this video to study a little bit more about this. If you want comments on this video, and I'll see if I can ask or answer some of the questions you might have, because it's just so incredible. And above all, I just have been feeling, I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but I've been feeling really strongly that someone needs this video. Someone needs to understand some of the things that I have learned about color, and that you don't have to sit in these depressed states. Like there's ways out of it that are not super complex. There's ways out of it that don't involve medication. And again, little disclaimer on that, like, I'm not recommending one way or the other. I'm not your doctor. I'm just saying, like, these are things that people need to look into, because like these are simple things that don't have to be super complex for you. So anyway, if you like what you heard in this video, please share it, because again, somebody is out there who I believe needs this video, who needs to understand this stuff. And if I can help somebody avoid some of the horrendous crap that I went through with some of the depression stuff that I went through, I definitely want to do that, because if I can help somebody to avoid some pain in their lives and to realize more progress and potentially avoid suicide, I'm going to do that. I'm going to help that person avoid those things, because there is so much potential that is going down the drain. I was looking up some statistics a couple weeks ago. There are millions and millions and millions of people who are affected by depression every year. And I can't remember the suicide rate, but it was way too high for anything, for anybody living in the United States. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And so this is something that I believe needs to be solved, and there's ways out of it. Again, this is not the one-stop solution for it, but there's things that I've learned that have definitely helped. So anyway, I hope that what you have learned today has been helpful and awesome. And again, please share this video if you found it helpful, and we'll help other people together. Thank you. We'll see you. Bye.